10x. So one thing to keep in mind, these, like the lenses in here right now are optimized for plastic dishes, except for the 100x. The 100x is optimized for microscope slides, and you can't use it with plastic dishes. So at 10x, it doesn't make any difference if you're using a dish or a slide, but at 20x and 40x, it's definitely for plastic. If you want to do slides, then you need to get a lens that's optimized for a slide, because the 20x and 40x are what's called long working distance objectives, and they're looking for the thickness of a plastic dish versus the thickness of a cover slab. So, in any case, so here we are at 10x. So say I want to at this point I want to do like a DAPI FITSI overlay. If I click capture, then
can you use that object cell count features and see that so that it can count those?
Yeah, but I'll have to get my imaging guy to help you with that sometime.
Oh,
that's a little more than what I'm comfortable training you on.
oh, okay, okay.
So now that I've I've got my DAPI captured here, I'm going to switch over to FITSI, and then I'm going to go back to live again. And I may have to increase the exposure time here. Let's see.
So what's the standard exposure time where we can?
There is none. It's totally dependent upon your sample.
Okay.
Really quickly you can go to auto exposure and let it find the exposure time itself.
Okay.
And then if I go back to manual, you see it's taken a second for exposure. So now if I capture this guy, so I'm going to click capture. And now I can pull this out to take off the light to my sample. So now I need to close, whoops, let's see here. I should have two windows here. Okay, so you see I have...
this is for blue and this is for the...
right.
Okay, the PN, okay.
So what I can do at this point is... oh, and you know what? I kind of messed up in that I forgot to tell. Let me try this again. Okay, I'm going to close this guy too. I don't need him out. Need those. Okay, so let me tell it. I need to tell it each channel. That's
okay.
Just like we tell objectives. And then also we're on 10x. Oh, that's interesting how that's set up that way. Okay. So push that in and go back to live.
1x or 10x?
10x. Okay.
Oh,
so
this is 10x?
Well,
oh,
this is only for the Nikon microscope. So ignore that for this guy. So we got too much. Let me. I'm going to go to manual exposure on this. And then
this looks
exposure. Yeah, there we go. So maybe 300 milliseconds. Okay, that looks good. Okay. So I've got that. So I'm going to click capture. All right. And then I'm going to switch this over to the FITSI. Go back to live. And I'm going to tell it this time that I'm on the FITSI. And let me, okay. So, oops. Maybe 1.5 seconds. Maybe 2 seconds. Okay, maybe 3 seconds. The monochrome camera will be much more sensitive,
Yeah.
so it won't have these long exposure times like this. Okay, so I'm going to click capture on that. Then I'm going to turn that off. Okay. So now I can get rid of this one that says frozen. I'm not going to need that. So now I've got my blue channel and I've got my green channel. So what I can do is, you know what? This isn't the overlays. I don't think this overlay is going to work with. Yeah. The overlay thing only works with a color camera. I mean, with a monochrome camera, because it's got to see it as a true monochrome and not as a color. Let me try one other thing. Oops, visualization. Bring up the lookup tables here. Yeah, that's. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make to do these overlays with the color camera. We've got to do that with the monochrome camera. So, all right. So it's not going to make any sense with that.
But
Okay.
The dual filter can do that, right? You have the dual filter.
Yeah, if you have
With the same camera.
So turn the lights back on and we'll talk about that. So we were talking about before you came in that what you have right now are all single band filters. He was mentioning that he's got a process that you really need to view in live with multiple colors. With what was it?
Like protein, two different protein.
Yeah, like green and red, or blue and green, or
yeah,
what?
blue and green.
Okay.
And green.
And since you don't have a motorized system here, it's not really set up to do very fast between two separate colors. So in that case, you might want to get a dual band filter, which will be both the DAPI and the FITSI, or DAPI and GFP. That way, you can actually image those, simultaneously and see what's going on.
It's more expensive
in live.
than
Yeah,
the,
those are $1,400 or $1,500 for a dual band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do we still have time that whenever that we
Yeah, I
need-
think if you can send me a quote by 2 days sometime,
Yeah.
and then I'll forward it to the original.
Yeah, they said that since they can purchase these with credit card, then they can do that till the end of June. It was for for a purchase order they needed to have done by like a day or so ago.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
since if we since